in the Colorado ranch home of his parents in 1898, Albert Lopez learned early the necessity of using the resources within oneself to succeed. His formal education ended with World War I, in which Albert served as a Marine. Returning to the West, he began a lifelong association with the Diamond A Cattle Company, first in New Mexico and later in South Dakota.
In 1930 sometime, he quit working for the Diamond A and had a lease of his own, and he bought and traded a lot of horses.
In 1927, Albert married Louisa Pelter, and they had 3 children. Whether Albert was ramrodding someone else's outfit or his own, the family's life followed a pattern.
He had roundup, he was the wagon boss, and he would follow the roundup wagon from in the early spring through branding until in the late fall when they gathered and sold the calves. And then we usually winter on a camp someplace close to a school. And we just sort of followed the good grass.
Throughout his career, Albert displayed a natural teaching ability and was always taking young kids under his wing. The whole world was his classroom, and he often referred to the family globe. But he found that most of life's lessons could be taught right on the prairie. Casey Tibbs, a neighbor youth who would later earn fame on the rodeo circuit and movie screen, was a constant visitor, as was Lloyd Ripkema.
I went to work for Albert when I was 13, and I think that he was probably enjoyed everyday living as much as any man I ever worked for. And I don't know, as I spent very many days with Albert, that you couldn't have a good laugh sometime during the day. He's seen the funny side of life.
He hung on to the Western way just as long as he could, is what he done, He tried to carry on with these little roundup wagons and to teach kids how to handle cattle on an open range and stay in the biggest country he could, He didn't want the country to close up and lose that way.
Albert Lopez was a product of the old open range, and he did his best to preserve a passing way of life. But he won't be remembered as a sad figure clinging to the past, because he was able to pass along the virtues connected to such a life to the many young people he influenced. The Old West lives on today in them.
For more information about the South Dakota Hall of Fame, write to Hall of Fame, Post Office, Box